Welcome in, buckle in, tune that grip. PHG World Series Season 4, let it rip. 4 wheels, hard lines, one more lap. Hear that chant, shake the whole room back. PHG, PHG, say it again. From the first green light to the very end. We came for the smoke, came for the pace, came for the chase, came for the race. So if you hear that roar in the back of your mind, that's the feel coming up on the inside. PHG, PHG, let it ride. Season 4, and it's ours tonight. Start, line tremble, gloves on tight, hands on the wheel and the whole room bright. Break points carved like cuts in stone, every turn got a name of its own. Close draft breath in the mirror glow, one bad move and the pack swings low. Check that line, keep the rear end live, you don't survive here, you drive and drive. PHG in the chant, let it ring, every lap got a hungry thing. Engine shout with a razor edge, we run that edge, we live that edge. Now the tension climbs, now the gridlock's tight. Hear the crowd lean in, feel that first turn bite. PHG, PHG, stomp that name. PHG, PHG, we came for the flame. PHG, PHG, shout it loud. PHG, PHG, shake the crowd. Wheel to wheel, we don't back down. PHG, PHG, take the crown. PHG, PHG, right here now. PHG, PHG, hear that sound. Lap by lap, we own this night. PHG, PHG, all fight. And a hard red stare, one late break and you're hanging there. Tiny mistakes turn into scars, cut too close and you're seeing stars. But the pack keeps coming mean and fast, every second feels like the last. Heat in the seat, no room to freeze, we move like wolves through the S-curve squeeze. PHG in the walls and the bones and the hiss and the crowd and the chrome tone. Say my name with the night on back, we don't drift off, we attack. Listen close. This is where it changes. This is where the calm gets stripped away. One corner, one breath, one heartbeat against a wall of engines. If you came for safe, you came wrong. If you came for slow, you stayed home. PHG is here, and the whole season starts now. Shout it loud, shake the crowd. Wheel to wheel, we don't back down. Take the crown, right here now. Hear that sound, lap by lap, we own this night. All fight, let it fade, but the mark we made won't wash away. Season 4, still in your chest. First lap curse and the final test. One last cry till the checker drops from the sky. We were here, you heard the call. We started all. Welcome to the grid, where the names don't fade, where the first turn shakes and the brave get made. PHG in the air, hear the whole room call. Season 4 tonight, yeah, we came to ball. Chrome on the nose and the tires scream. Every lap a test, every corner a dream. Legends in the lane with the pressure on. When the lights go down, we're already gone. PHG, PHG, let it ring through the dome. Bring that fire to the track, bring it all back home. Drivers on edge, eyes locked, hands cold. One more shot at glory, one more story told. Helmet on tight, heart loud on my chest. Nerves like a wire, but I never rest. Grid full of ghosts with the title to keep, and the whole world waiting when the red lights sleep. Every move sharp, every line stays clean. Close on the inside, cut through the seam. If you want the crown, Legends don't blink in a high-speed race. Hear that shit now. PHG. 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 Feel it shake now. PHG. PHG. One breath, one line, one chance to shine. No backing off. It's go time. We go time. PHG, PHG, let it ride. Legends race here, nowhere to hide. PHG, PHG, feel the flame. Season 4, we all know the name. PHG, PHG, take the crown when the lights hit red. We don't slow down. PHG, PHG, hear that roar. The legends race here, and we want more. Late apex pressure, I'm cutting it close. Paint on the bumper, I'm ghost to the ghost. They want my line, but I've been that raw. One hard pass and the whole room cool. Burnt out rubber on the edge of the fight. Every lap counts in the dead of night. If the pack comes close, I don't move back. I hit that gap like a clean attack. Hear that chant now. PHG. 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 Feel it shake now. PHG. PHG. One breath, one line, one chance to shine. No backing off. It's go time. PHG, PHG, let it ride. Legends race here, nowhere to hide. PHG, PHG, feel the flame. Season 4, we all know the name. PHG, PHG, take the crown when the lights hit red. We don't slow down. PHG, PHG, hear that roar. Legends race here, and we want more. Yeah. Look at that lineup. Look at that pressure. This is where the fast learn fear, and the fearless learn speed. PHG, World Series Season 4. Not a warm-up, not a preview. This is the race. This is the run. This is where legends move. Take the signal, lock the pace. One more lap, one more chase. Hands stay steady, eyes stay true. Every rival pushing through. When the crowd all rise and the engine scream, we break the limit, we own the drive. PHG, PHG, let it ride. Legends race here, nowhere to hide. PHG, PHG, feel the flame. Season 4, we all know the name. PHG, PHG, take the crown when the lights hit red. We don't slow down. PHG, PHG, hear that roar. Legends race here, and we want more. PHG, legends race here. Season 4, we're live, we're locked, we're going. Welcome in, buckle in, tune that grip. PSG World Series Season 4, let it rip. 4 wheels, hard lines, one more lap. Hear that chant, shake the whole room back. PSG, PSG, say it again. From the first green light to the very end. We came for the smoke, came for the pace, came for the chase, came for the race. So if you hear that roar in the back of your mind, that's the feel coming up on the inside. PSG, PSG, let it ride. Season 4, and it's ours tonight.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, folks. Welcome to Split 2 of this round of the PHG World Series.
Pop is
behind not behind the mic, but doing some production today. And I am joined up here in the booth by Shaggy Rainmaker. Shags, how you doing today, bud?
Yeah, I've been better, but still, pretty hyped about how my races went last night. So still in a good mood for now.
Right. Well, you had a better experience than me. I'm still putting these flames out for my bad nations run about an hour or two ago. So, but it's all right. Everybody has some bad races. Just bounce on back. Let's see here. If we want to real quick go over to our sponsors, and we will read over who our sponsors are for the PHG World Series. Shags, you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, we'll start off with SimNet Racing. It's focused on delivering high-quality, affordable sim racing hardware, highlighted by their SP Pro low-cell pedal set designed to provide precise braking feel, consistency, and improved control for competitive drivers. Built by sim racers for sim racers, the products strike the perfect balance between performance and accessibility.
And of course, the discount code and website are pictured up there with simnetracing.com at discount code PHGGTWS will net you, I believe it's an 8% discount. So it is.
I think so. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Next up is Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. With decades of experience in residential and commercial restoration, Paul Davis Restoration is a trusted leader in emergency services, water and fire damage restoration, mold remediation, reconstruction, and large loss recovery. Their commitment to professionalism, rapid response, and customer care have made them a respected name across the industry. You can find them at www.pauldavis.com.
And 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes are custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, and still provide all the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. I actually have some of those.
Do you really? The feet, the shoes?
Yeah, I can't wear them on my hands though, but I could try.
I might have to get. I've been thinking about getting me some. Once again, an 8% discount with Papa 10x or 10%. Excuse me, 10% discount. Papa 10x at 4dracewear.com. And last but not least, we have MZW. So MZW delivers high-quality sim racing gear, including custom GT-style wheel replicas and premium accessories built for performance, precision, and immersion. Especially within the Fanatec ecosystem, you can find them at mzw-simhardware.com. We're going to transition over into the round info now, just to let you know what's going on, everyone. So that is a typo there on the screen. It's actually a 90-minute race. Once again, a little bit of a longer race this time. The tires are 2 times, so 1 lap equals 2 laps worth of wear. Only racing hard tires are required. You have to use the racing hards at least 1 lap. Fuel is set at 2 times with a refuel rate of 3 liters per second. And the cars are the GT1 and GT3 cars of French make. This is the French Manufacturers Cup at Circuit des Spa. So without further ado, I think I'm going to hand it over to Shaggy to talk about our team sim racing driver.
Some say that he is mentioned in the U.S. government UFO files and that the FIA denies his existence. But we know,
is he's called the Rozzy.
All right. See, I don't know the names of these corners, so turn 1, you really want to get on the brake. It's a little tricky to get this exit because it's a little too far left, and you get a little hung up. Now, with GT3 cars, you can fly through Eau Rouge. I do know that one. And it's a nice little straight. It's not too bad. And then you got time for arts and crafts while you're doing this. Coming into the next turn, you want to get that apex just right, but not too much to hit the bollards, because for some reason, physics say they slow you down. The same thing with the next turn. And it's very easy to get a little too much on the curbs here and spin out. I do not recommend that. You want to hit that apex, accelerate fully, get on the curb, and time it just right to make this nice little exit. Coming up on Puyan, I don't know. Nice and clean. You want to time that exit just right. Too early, and you don't get enough speed too late, and you hit that curb. More bollards, because why not? Everywhere. Honestly, it feels like it takes forever for this GT3 lap here. A lot of curbs. You want to be careful not to get on that AstroTurf, the green stuff. It's not your friend, especially when it's wet. I would recommend staying at least 50 feet away from it at all times. You want to accelerate fully out of this. Just touch the apex. A little too much there, I think. But I don't know, that worked. Probably had ASM on to protect himself from spinning out. Very tricky here. Nice first gear. Accelerate. And just keep it in between the lines. Nice design rush. Now, for the GT1 car, the Peugeot, I don't even know what it's called, honestly. No, this one was. I don't know. Is this the FAP? No, it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's one of the newer group ones.
It's a hybrid car. It's a hybrid. It's I don't know. They gave it a weird name. They couldn't just call it a number like Porsche or Ferrari would do. But either way, you can go flat out through Eau Rouge. Though I'd recommend not getting too much on the corner, because while this car is better than the FAP, the other Peugeot that's available, it's still a little tricky on the braking. I don't know. I feel like its brakes are good and bad at the same time. Also, stay off the bollards. They're not your friend either. AstroTurf, bollards, well, curbs with rain on them are definitely not your friend. Nice exit. Avoid the bollards. Avoid the AstroTurf. As big as this track is, it feels very narrow. Like there is a line that, you know, works for any car. You stray from that and, well, you find yourself in some grass. Honestly, we need a new groundskeeper here. Too much grass. Staying off the Astro. Get it down, avoid the bollards. You can get on that curb a little bit, but when you're on the slicks, you might want to stay off of it. As I saw and witnessed firsthand, drivers can spin and do 360s right off that corner. If on slicks and they hit a wet spot. Same here and also there. Honestly, this track is not your friend when it's wet. You're doing your best to survive, and well, I did 3 hours of that yesterday, and I guess I survived. And then when you cross this line for the final time, it's such a relief.
All right. So here we are for the drivers for round 6 of Split 2. We've got in GT1, we've got Talon in P1. In P2, we got Ecstasy. P3, we've got S7R, the Truth Serum. P4, we've got Florinota. P5, we've got NVR's Saint. P6, we've got Felmora. P7, we've got Fernando Button. As far as our GT3 drivers, we've got PHG D Rodriguez in P1, Drobo in P2, Cornbread in P3, Stamps in P4, K-Dub in P5, Tommy Turismo in P6, and FAF Elzo in P7. So, I don't know, Shags, who do you think is going to be the ones to watch in each of the classes?
I would probably put my money on Talon and the Truth Serum for GT1. For GT3, personally, Cornbread, Stamps, D. Rodriguez, they're always challenging, for wins and podiums. So it's anybody's game in both of the classes.
Right. Yeah. I know I was talking with K-Dub earlier when I was trying to warm up for my run in Nations, and he was getting ready to start warming up for this race. I know it's definitely going to be challenging. They do have, all of them have an advantage with having seen what the race looks like and watching Split 1 and Split 3 last night and seeing what worked for them and what did not work and what is in store for them with your crazy love affair with having it rain on race day, Shag.
Well, if it can rain, it will rain. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
So
I do ask that everybody enter the lobby and like enter the track. That way I can set this up. Thank you.
See, so we're currently waiting for all the drivers to enter their cars and line up on the grid. So down in the chat, what do you all think? I just asked Shaggy what he thinks, who to keep an eye on. Who do you down there in the chat seem to, or not seem to, but really think that there are people to keep an eye on? Who do you think they are? Yeah, so we got this next round here coming up. Spa's a fun track. What made you choose Spa this time around, Shaggy?
Yeah, it wasn't actually up to me. I run a vote. I run polls for the tracks that we run in these seasons, and sometimes it'll be head to head. Sometimes you'll have like pick the best 2 out of 10 or however many tracks I put down, and Spa, of course, made it. It's a very popular track, no matter what you're racing. Everybody can come here and bring something and enjoy it. All right, just making the last couple little last minute changes, and then we'll be able to get this started.
Right, and we try to keep the community involved in our league programming here in PHG. If you are new here, this is a great community of people and drivers. Our tagline, our motto is "Great Racers, Better People." We love racing, but there's also more to life than racing.
Sometimes. That's like crazy now.
Yeah, sometimes. But sometimes racing is life.
All right, hope everybody's ready. We will be starting soon.
All right. As we're waiting for the drivers to enter their cars.
Oh my God! Okay.
So just waiting on the go ahead from the trackside team. We are getting notification that all drivers are being called to their vehicles. There we go. We're getting ready for watching the countdown here. I said last night I always try to chop this tree as one drag racer on standing starts. And we are underway. French Manufacturers Club here at Circuit Day Spa. Alan is leading the way in the Group 1 cars.
Or more has trouble believing going to park. He just made his way out of the GT3 cars, which have already spread out a little bit. Nice clean driving, guys.
Alan locking down P1. Laura rounding out the Group 1 cars. Drogo's still trying to hang on to a little bit of slipstream, I feel like, from those Group 1 cars to give him a little bit of an advantage. That they are, oh no, we got the buttons to the wall. Well, we can get a replay on that. What happened here? Oh, just a little bit too much gas. I don't know. It might be a little help there or not.
The GT1 cars already having early trouble. Back in P8, we got a nice little battle between 3 cars.
Look at this. More
cars. But one of these is not like the other. Fernando makes his way past. Good job, guys. And even so, it's still a 4-way battle. Repeat it.
Speed up, rounding out our 3 drivers. This little minion peeking out the back of his bumper there.
Well, he's hoping he doesn't get hit by anybody. I think I don't blame him.
Right.
P12 is a good place to be right now. There's somebody behind you to worry about. Nice little view of SCC making his Roman Talon for P1. He's trying to get to. They're running the same car. There's no advantage like we've seen in a couple other races where the Fab had the advantage over the newer hypercar in a straight line.
Saint trying to close the gap here. SCC is definitely that SCC is also the switcher from Allen. So 3 cars that's for 1.
Looks like
battling it out.
Looks like Fernando might have had another problem. He's right in front of the GT3 cars once again in P7. We had a couple of absences from GT3, so it'll be a little bit easier for the GT1 cars to get by, especially when it starts raining and the track is not very desirable at nighttime.
Yes, indeed. This track, as we heard last night, is pitch black at night, and not a whole lot of illumination except for very key corners. It's definitely a test of skill of the driver. And it's going to be even more of a test when the skies open up and rain falls. We see D. Rodriguez coming to the final chicane, trying to hang on to stance. Looks like he goes a little deep. Lead up behind Cornbread. D. Rodriguez crosses the line in that black and gold Renault. Almost looking like a old school Batmobile. Cornbread of VIP Racing powering out. Turn 1 approaching Eau Rouge.
If you've ever looked at some of these cars, the BGTs and the ones with these giant wings, that if you change the view from the back to the front, it's an optical illusion because it looks wide when you're looking at it facing forward, and then when you look at it to the back, it looks smaller. don't know if anybody's ever noticed that.
Coming down into the first chicane is K-Dub and Corn Drag. Hugging that apex very nicely. Appreciate Talon and the Group 1 cars, the GT1 cars, coming into the second high-speed section. Followed closely by S to C. And NBR St. Margaret are well within draft range of each other. So we're Americans, so it's not a slip, it's a draft. Don't at me down in the comment.
When in France.
When in France. Jean Girard is entering the chat, right?
Yeah. We're not that cultured. We're not that cultured.
Obviously, we're Americans.
I spilled my macchiato a couple times last night. It was not a nice time.
Right. You're gonna have that time. All right, so we got a group of 4 here out of the, 7 Group 1 cars. Looks like they're well within striking distance of each other.
He's gonna go for it. Oh, no. He's trying to fake it. Oh, I think he faked himself out. It's very easy in these cars to do that. You think you have the room and you back off, and you don't want to get into any kind of contact with the car ahead, but you also want to get that pass done. Decisions.
Yes, indeed. So we got the Truth Serum. He's coming down around that little bend there. Into the what section was this here? All right, so that's the downhill left-hander right there, right? Yeah. Okay. Trying to keep track of where everything is. That long left-hander that looks easy but isn't. Into the big chicane that I always call it here. And he powers on out. And remember, this is a key turn right here because you have to carry enough speed to maximize your chances out here on the backstretch. Otherwise, you're going to be just falling back.
I didn't notice that he picked up a penalty early in the lap. He's been struggling a little bit these first couple laps. But that might be due to the fact that he's on the hard tire. It's not as forgiving as the soft tires. That P1 through P3, P4 are all soft tire runners. So they're of course going to get that advantage early on, which I like that advantage. Get away from me. I'm trying to go here. I don't need people, stalking me. But the top 4 are only separated by 2.3 seconds, so the soft tires are definitely playing a factor.
No, yeah, definitely. And this is, Shags always leaves it open for a lot of different strategy calls, and there are definitely a lot of strategy calls here because all you have to use for one single lap is the racing hard tires. Other than that, You're free to do whatever you see fit as far as your strategy.
I didn't realize there was as many strategies as I saw unfold last night. I actually caught myself out. I was like, oh, everybody's pitting. Maybe I should pit. I changed my original strat. It worked out. I don't know how for GT3, but I was in it, for a chance at the win at the end. A solid podium. But it works out that way sometimes. Sometimes people have mistakes, and the race can just fall into your lap.
Oh yeah, that's racing, right? Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get really unlucky. So.
Well, you never really know how lucky you are until you try every possible outcome to see where you can, get ahead on it. I only ran one practice race and kind of determined what my strat was. I didn't even use the strat. I just, it Figured it's there if I want it. It wasn't going to be fast at times, but it was going to be, fast at the end, which is what I'm thinking. Truth and Filmora and Fernando are thinking the long game, as they call it, because you knock the hard tire compound out now, then you're free to use the mediums or the softs or whatever you want later in the race if you want to do a two-stop in between the rain stints. Because fuel is an issue here. It can be. So there's plenty of ideas for strats to go around. Looking back at GT3, not a lot going on. They're pretty spaced out. Really the only close battle is P10 and P9 between Stamps and D-Rod. But it seems to be opening up a little bit. Oh, it will. It's going to get even closer now. That's a penalty. Yeah, there it is. Oh, too deep. The tires, they get very dirty. Oh, going for it. The bad thing is though, this RS01 doesn't have the rear end to run down the RCZ in a straight line. Like, it doesn't have the acceleration, but it can hang overall. Also, it's the best on fuel, so long game for PHG D-Rod. Oh, guys. Never back down, never surrender, right? That's great. Some nice side-by-side action here. And nobody ended up in the wall. If only the drivers from our dailies and GTWS that don't know what sportsmanship is could, learn from what's being witnessed in this league. If only. I give it a little love tap. Tell them good job.
If only they could learn from the amazing clean drivers we have here at PHG World Series. It's definitely very frustrating.
Go up to
go ahead.
P4. We got a battle. Tornado just made the pass on Saint. Used that overspeed and got the pass. It's still very competitive up here. Just on lap 7, and they're still within 4 seconds from P1 to P4.
Got S to C down into the long left-hander here. Looks like he grabbed all the apexes he needed to power out, tried to chase down Talon. It looks like maybe, yeah, he's definitely making some ground here. Oh, nice save, SPC. There we go, bud.
Yeah, I didn't want that to be on you. Almost got the curse on that one.
Mm-hmm.
We should go to somebody else. There we go.
So we got Florinota here. P3, Saints right up his bumper. We got Talon with a almost 2-second lead ahead of S to C, leading the way, about to pass the last Group 3 car, which is K-Dub. Runs up and down into first gear. Good rotation. Maybe missed the apex a little bit there, but popping it up into second. Man, Shaggy, those clouds look foreboding.
Yeah. I gave myself a cheat sheet for when the rain would hit, or the races. So I know exactly the times where if you're on the slick tires, it's gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
But the rain should be about another 6-7 minutes out from now.
Fair enough.
See, I got 6 or 7 in there, worked out.
6-7. Apparently, though, us older folks have made 6.7 uncool, so it's no longer cool to say 6.7.
Now it's cool just to make
you know
it
what that
cool.
means? That means we won, gentlemen. We won. Ladies and
We're the
gentlemen,
victors. We left with the cup.
we stopped the younger generation from all of their silliness with the 6.7.
Ooh. Looked like SSC and P2 had a little trouble getting around the GT3 car there. I believe it was Cornbread. This brought Florinota right to his bumper. Oh, a little too much of the Astro. It is not your friend. I know it's friend shaped, but it's not your friend.
That will send you off into the shadow realm with the winds.
Especially when it's been rained on for several laps.
As we see Florinota right behind Ecstasy.
Trying to dummy move.
Coming around through turn 1, approaching Eau Rouge. Got a lot of wear on these tires of Florinota. Oh, Florinota goes wide.
I would probably contribute that to dirty air. It's very easy to get out of shape, no matter where you are around that apex.
See, did it look like there's a little contact there almost?
I think he was not necessarily.
It was just the angle that I was looking at it from.
How he did not get a penalty is beyond me. I mean, that's just great. Like,
lucky man, I guess.
Split-second decision to pull the car back and avoid that little bit of a overlap into the penalty zone. Oh. Using the GT3 cars is a little bit of a pick to get a little closer. It's mean, it's evil, but that is a strategy that you can use in this multi-class racing. Use the GT3 cars to make passes, but also to help yourself defend against other drivers.
Yes, indeed. We do have 15 people watching currently in the chat per my count. If you're new here, welcome to Papa's House of Game. We're a small little community of sim racers. Hit like and subscribe if you like what you see. And come check out our Discord. I will actually post a link to the Discord in the chat. Let's see if the droids are working. There we go. The droids are indeed conscious today. Come check us out on Discord and like and subscribe. We would love to have you here in the Papa's House of Game community, where our motto is great racers, better people.
In P8, the lead for GT3 is now 16 seconds with Drobo over D-Rod. 16 seconds in just over 8 laps. He is marching. And then Talon, humbles him and passes him in the GT1 car.
I mean, it is a GT1 car, so.
I know, but it's like when you're feeling big and you're like, oh. Gotta ruin my thunder. Speaking of thunder.
Then you get, it's an analogy to the there's always a bigger fish kind of thing.
Right.
So Shags, while we've got these pit stops going on, what was your inspiration to, like we were talking about yesterday, make this about a in game time 45-hour race instead of a 24-hour race?
I mean, why not? Everybody does a 24-hour race. You can make it a little bit longer. Right? Yeah, why not?
That would be a very interesting thing to see in real life. Like, how would the logistics of that work out?
You're like, I didn't sleep for what, 3 days? Yeah. Okay. I was racing for 3 days straight? I mean, if you think about all the streamers.
Some of those memes or whatever where the guy looks all scraggly or whatnot.
Yeah. It's been 3 days. Now, for those who are currently out, it might be a good time to hop into the pits, as we're starting to get a little moisture on the windshields and on the track, and those slick tires, they don't like a lot of that.
Yep. Snap. Wait, say no more.
Yeah, wrong equipment, wrong job. They will not do what you want them to. Though,
it looks like Talon, Spank, and Drobo at the minimum are in the pits. There's probably a few in between them coming into the pits.
Yeah, I think everybody that's made it to the pits on this lap is Fernando. Hurry, bud. He's approaching this last straight before the chicane. Oh, don't take it too hard. Don't take it too hard. Watch the braking here. There you go.
The deluge begins.
Oh boy.
Like Florinota elected to stay out for one more lap. We saw that did not work well for was Wether Dan yesterday.
Mr. Casual.
Mr. Casual, that's right.
That was heartbreaking, because I was watching. I was very excited that he was leading, and I was like, oh, he's definitely got one in the bag, like early on, and maybe he was just distracted by something. The same thing with Florinota, just not paying attention to the rain, maybe thinking he had a little more time. The thing about when I set up the rain, I always set it up to RO7, which is always a guaranteed rain. It always comes in different directions, but it'll come in the same increments at a time, and it's always by a certain time frame. Like, it's like to the second. So if you run the practice, you know exactly when the rain will come in. Just keep an eye on when it is at its worst and pit before that. And yeah. That way you don't have that problem to worry about.
Yeah, now he's got a limp around the track. Oh, man. Like, I really do like to see people trying to gamble, but, even from yesterday, we can tell it's not worth it on this. But, thank you, Shaggy, for the insight that you have given all of us on your, the criteria you use to set up rain.
Well, I like it being a little different. So if you run one kind of race, like where it might rain in qualifying, it might only rain one time in the race. Then you have another one where it'll be a dry qualifying, it might rain a couple of times in the race, like, for instance, Spa, and then we had Suzuka as well, which is a little bit different deal. Which a wet qualifying in Suzuka is actually pretty common for a lot of racing. Some of these places, it just does nothing but rain, which is why I don't understand why we don't have any rain tracks in North America or South America. Because I would love, for rain at Daytona or Interlagos. But I don't run PD. I'm not Kaz. If I was, y'all would probably still all be playing GT7 instead of being an afterthought and, playing something else or whatever.
Shaggy, if you ever get a job opportunity, can you please, or get the opportunity, can you please tell Kaz to give the Ford some love on the BOP, please?
Yeah, they it comes in like very small increments when they actually give any kind of favor to American companies.
Yeah, it's all about the money, but that's all right. As we saw S2C go a little bit wide there in Eau Rouge with a half a second penalty. That was not expected. Trying to catch up before Onoda, and he is on the intermediates. What was your call at this section of the track yesterday, Shags? Was it heavy wets or intermediates?
It's always intermediates. I basically do it like, if you ever watch an F1 race, which I know you're a NASCAR connoisseur, so F1 is it's a little too much culture, I think. They have wet tires available for every race if it rains. And most of the time, like if not all the time, they will just opt to go with the intermediates, just because a lot of times it'll dry up, and they'll a lot of times call the race or red flag it or just not even do it if it's too wet. Like it just ruins the fun. I want it to be like too wet. Like give them a reason to use the wet tires, you know. So I always use an intermediate, especially when I know it's going to dry out very quickly. It's only in wet territory for maybe a lap and a half, you know, depending on what car you're in. And then it tempers off and goes to intermediate, you know, territory. The bar's a little lower. Then you can just run it with you can run it with TC and, well, briefly run it with TC2 for the wet tire area when you're on the intermediates. Just give them a little more traction, which I didn't practice a lot in the GT1 cars, so I have no clue if I was doing well enough in those as far as the wet. The GT3, I'm very, I guess, competent and experienced and wet with those. It's just these new hybrid cars. It's a little bit different monster.
That's neat. Oh, was there a little bit of contact there? Looks like there might have been between Detroit Steam and Ecstasy. Not saying it was necessarily intentional. It is hard to see, as you can clearly tell, how dark this track is. I mean, they only illuminate the key portions of the track that you need to see. Other than that, it's what are your headlights at? Can't see anything. Look at that.
The bad thing is I had it was like a face full of spray when you would be behind a car this close. That's all you were seeing. That or bright lights or whatever, and then especially if somebody's directly behind you, all you see is their light reflecting, around your car, and you kind of don't see the shadows, and you don't get a lot of the markers as visible as you could have, to where you get a break and turn and be able to survive.
We got the high-speed section here. Fernando Button coming up into the first chicane. And then down into, it's kind of like the boot at Watkins Glen, actually, this turn. Or at least the toe of the boot, right? Kind of a similar layout, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Except it's different elevation. And then Robo's coming up to the big chicane here is what I call it. We're going to switch over to Talon coming into the pits.
Talon being very brave right now. Ooh. I think this might have been a little early. I would have played it to whoever's behind you. If you're the leader in situations like this, you play it to whatever they do behind you. So, especially if it's a fuel race and it can affect you in the long term. That way you have enough to get to the end and have to fuel up as less often as you can,
Gonna take on some Sunoco race fuel.
It's gonna be a tricky exit because that is almost into wet territory on the pit lane.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be. Talon's getting ready to come off the pit road here. Oh. Trying to find. Oh, he's right on that dry line, man. It's right there. Look at that. Look, down at the bottom left. You haven't been around before. That gauge right next to the race timer shows how moist the track is, how wet it is, and up to that first line, you're pretty much safe to use racing slicks. But it depends on where you're at on the track. You'll see it dancing around, bouncing around. Jags, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a really early call. You're kind of skirting along the wet side of the track this early. Bouillon is mean right now because there is one line and you veer off of that and well, you just keep on going. Especially through here where a lot of the times the normal line is on the curb. And, you know, if you just skirt that, if you just kind of nip at it a little bit, well, you know, 360 time for you. And it does not like to stop. Super tricky here.
Somebody coming down into the downhill section is Cornbread. We got Detroit Serum and K-Dub both in the pits currently. We got Cornbread coming down through the gears into that long left-hander. K-Dub is coming out of the pits. What did he switch out for? We will see here momentarily. He's going to kind of make the same gamble and come out on racing hards, get the intermediates off. It looks like he came out on racing mediums. All right.
I will say something though about Cornbread being in the Citron. It has the best lights on the track right now compared to everybody else. You either kind of want to be in front of him or you want to be his car. Like, they're so bright. You look at everybody else's lights and it's like, you know, must have got them on Temu. All right, we got D-Rod and Fernando in the pits. We got D-Rod and Fernando in the pits. Now see, I actually botched my strat last night with this. I was supposed to stay on intermediates until they were basically done. That way I wouldn't have to add any more fuel in the later runs. Then I pitted early because everybody else decided to. And by the time I figured out, I was like, oh, that's right. That's why I ran so long in the practice. See how long the fuel would go. And then it actually worked out. Because I don't think I had to put much fuel on that last, stop. I found myself saving fuel towards the end when I really didn't need to. And also I was trying to do math in my head. It's kind of messing me up. It's really hard to do that when you're trying to avoid a wet line when you're on the slicks. Not fun. But I did make these races, so I guess I kind of had to deal with it myself too,
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't make these as like a advantage or in any way just something, I take pride in them, but I don't do it just to make y'all have a bad day. But you do learn and get better in the end. I'd hope. Also, apparently it's Jorge's weakness. So, hey. Oddly enough, last night in Split 1 was the first time the entire season that neither Wid nor Jorge won their respective classes. Imagine that. That will never happen again. Now that I've said it, they will not back down.
K-Dub, followed by Florinota. Out into the first high-speed section. Into the first chicane. Coming down into the toe of the boot that isn't the boot from Watkins Glen. Powering on out, starting in downhill sector here is Talon. He comes down through the gears, back up to third for traction, and he is about to navigate this long left-hander here, trying to stay on the dry portion of the track because he would be sent to the Shadow Realm with the wet portions of the track.
a good rule of thumb when you're leading and you're on the continuing to wear down wet tires or intermediates is keeping up with how much the driver behind, especially if they're all on the slicks, they're on the slicks, like Talon, for instance, keeping up with how much you're losing to them per lap. It starts getting to where it's big chunks, like a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and you probably should pit, before you lose too much time. The advantage is you get to stay out, you get to fill up a little more with fuel, and it's always a long-term gamble because you can stay out longer. You're gonna run slow in the moment, but in the end, it might pay off. Who knows?
Yes, indeed. As we see S to C coming down into once again, the toe of the little boot, or the shoe. Maybe we should call it a shoe. It seems a little smaller. A stocking. There you go. The toe of the stocking.
The stocking. That would be the toe.
The toe of the stocking. Then we've got Drobo coming up into the final chicane here. About to cross the line, starting his next lap.
Well, to be fair, this region isn't far from where the origin of Saint Nick, Santa Claus, comes from. So, why not? It's either a stock, or you can count the entire thing as a wicked laser gun. It's like a phaser from Trek.
Yes. Don't you say bad things about Trek now, Shags. Everybody knows I'm kind of a Trekkie. I will correct you.
I would never.
You mean no, you never? To quote Wayne from Letterkenny. No, I never.
Well, how about this? Star Wars had better movies.
Oh no.
P11,
we got
K-Dub.
a failure from Fernando Button.
K-Dub just that was it's continuing.
Oh,
yeah, it's brutal.
Yep, got a little bit, got off that dry line. It's like walking on tightrope when you have a wet track and it starts drying up.
Need a little hop there.
We see Rodriguez battling with, well, not really battling because they're different classes, but they're coming down into the big chicane here. Well, wait, that's not the big chicane. That's the first chicane. I'm sorry. And Talon is powering through the downhill section of the toe of the stocking as we see the sun start to come up here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. He makes that left, coming down into and approaching the long left-hander, followed by NVRC and Florinota, all once again within, while Florinota looks like he's within striking distance or draft distance of Saint. But Talon is significantly 5 seconds ahead of NVR Saint. They've got to definitely make some time up here.
I'm going to take the P8 car of PHG Rodriguez. He's got Florinota right there. Oh, careful. Patience, guys. Especially with the wet track, there's only so much drive. Alright, so SD P1 making his pit stop. This will bring the top four much closer together than 30-something seconds. But he was pushing it longer. He can I think that'll actually pay off in the end. He's going to take a little fuel here, and I don't know if it'll be good to the end on the next stop to take more fuel, but it won't have to be much. Oh, nope. No splash.
Let's just keep powering out of the pits here.
Ooh, gotta be careful. 3-second penalty awaits you if you cross that line.
But I think a lot of that was auto drive as well.
No, right when you exit the pit, like that first little wall there, it's all you. Like you were in control for way too much of that. I wish it was auto drive until you got a good distance out of that. Then it wouldn't be so bad, but oh Drobo. P7. Yeah. That was a little close call with P4 SD. Oh, call grass.
Ouch.
Track. Oh, more grass. And he gets back on the track.
Can't pop that mic.
Poor SD is just breathing a sigh of relief now.
Well, while we're sitting here watching these drivers navigate these conditions, I think it is a good time for a PHG crank it up. Let's hit it and listen to these cars sing the song of their people. We are back, folks, as we are watching another titanic struggle between some of the greatest racers and the best people in the Gran Turismo community navigate what the math turned out to be a 45-hour race, which was thought up by none other than PHG Shaggy Doo up here in the booth with me.
Well, everybody always says they like endurance races and they want to be a part of teams that take on these 24-hour races and 6-hour races and 12-hour races or whatever. And, well, you know what? I can do that for you. But I can make it feel like you've been racing for 30, 40 hours in a couple hours, you know.
And that is indeed what we discovered last night, is that I believe Salamander MN, he did the math and figured that the way this works out is this is a 45-hour race in game time, not in real time, but in game time.
I wanted everybody to have a little bit of everything. You got rain at nighttime, you got rain in daytime, you got dry nighttime, dry daytime. I'll put in an entire year's worth of weather in one sitting if I can.
Indeed.
Just because I don't make the entire thing wet.
Yeah, like what was it? A while back, you wanted to make a recreation of the 24 hours of Le Mans from a few years ago, where it was just like drenched and rained out or something.
The last time we went to Le Mans for the PHG World Series, I didn't actually design that one, but it did have rain. That was done by our very own PHG Sliced. I'm assuming he's still PHG Sliced, but at the time he was.
I haven't seen him around in a while. Where's Sliced been?
I don't know. I think it was like 22 laps of Le Mans. But that was a very fun race.
We got PHG D Rodriguez and Cornbread here. Is approaching the toe of the stocking. Got stamps for the half-second penalty, likely a exceeding course limits penalty. Powers down into the long left-hander before the large chicane, the big chicane. So you kiss the apex on the inside, the outside, bring it back on down again, and kiss the apex on the inside. And powers out into the large chicane. It is stamps, but he is waiting once again on serving that half-second penalty. Trying to carry as much speed as he can to minimize the effects of this penalty from him and Cornbread, who is about a second and a half in front of, or ahead of Stamps. Stamps is approaching the penalty line here, and he is slowed down for his half-second serves said penalty, and continues on through the second high-speed section, approaching the final chicane. Cornbread is also approaching the final chicane, he's about 2.7, almost 3 seconds ahead of Stamps. Stamps navigates it very nicely. Did he make up some time to catch up to Cornbread? Perhaps. Maybe a little, but you can't really tell this juncture.
A nice little battle for P4. Filmora has been breathing down SSC's neck for a few laps now, slowly closing the gap.
Fernando Button down here in the Button down in the chat says it's storming big time down there. Fernando, make sure you keep an eye on the weather, man. You don't want to get caught out with your pants down, as it were, if a tornado comes through. So make sure you're, staying safe, buddy. All right.
Right, he's over in the St. Louis area, correct?
Oh yeah, so that's really bad.
Yeah, well, the last so many years, Tornado Alley, it was mostly like in Oklahoma, Kansas, northern Texas. It's moved more east, so
yeah,
Even
it's moving
Tennessee,
more my
Arkansas,
direction,
Missouri are getting, yeah.
I noticed that
Honestly,
it's
wake up
more
and you're
my
probably
direction.
in Tornado Alley. Doesn't really matter where you are now.
So
But yeah,
it's
be
a
safe.
double-edged sword. I want to see cool storms, but I don't want a tornado ripping up my community.
Right. Like, it's probably Mishi's favorite movie is Twister.
Yeah, I
And
watched Twister a couple days ago, and then about a month or two ago, and then I watched Twisters, the sequel, a
yeah,
couple of days ago as well because we had weather coming through. I'm sorry I cut
right.
you off. Thanks, continue.
It's okay. But yeah, she watches it just to fall asleep or just whenever. But I'm like, well, I'd rather you see those tornadoes and not the actual ones. I've actually seen ones coming across the field when I lived back in Mississippi, and not a good sight. Not a good sight when you really don't have anywhere to go other than to just take cover and hope for the best. But thankfully, we only had minor damage from it. It kind of jumped between a few of our neighbors. Their homes were destroyed, but it just kind of nipped the carport outside and just jumped over. Just the way it works, I guess. Mora is not backing down. He does have the tire advantage though. Ooh,
Oh!
it's just
It looks like
superior
it's backing
braking with
off.
that
Like
with
it's
that
backing
medium
off.
tire. Because you're trying to judge it, but you also have better braking ability than STC on the hard tires.
Yeah, and it looks like there's some definite contact there, but once again, outstanding show of sportsmanship there by Filmora with Ecstasy. He kind of was like, all right, that wasn't intentional. I just overcooked it. It happens sometimes in racing. It's a high stress, constant sport. I tell
Right.
people all the time in baseball and football and stuff like that, they get breaks, little breaks here and there, right? But in racing, whether it be any kind of motorsport, it's a constant pressure that's on you. You really don't get much of a break, and because of that, mistakes happen.
While we were watching Filmora and SSC, a battle for P1 has gotten a little bit closer between Florinota and Talon. While they try to navigate around the P10 car stamped, everybody got through there nice and clean. Yeah, Florinota always finds his way back to the front. No matter if there's a little hang up here or there, he buckles down and he'll be right there at the end. In the long run, though, he does have a little bit of disadvantage on fuel compared to Talon, so there will be some time lost to Talon in the pits, but maybe he can get a little closer and save some fuel, kind of just sit in the slip.
So,
Contact.
Oh no! Can we run that back?
Waiting.
Oh wait, did somebody just duck out? Oh no, did we lose somebody else? Talon got reset. That's what it was.
Florinota is slowing down for Talon. Great sportsmanship.
A little contact again. Yeah. I wish there was a way to turn off automatic resets for this running.
Yeah, that was just brutal.
Ugh. So apparently, I did not know this. Fernando Button down here in the chat says that that he storm chases every now and again. That'd be a cool side gig to have. I remember joking with Mrs. Chuck when she eventually gets her truck that maybe I'll start a secondary YouTube channel or start live streaming storm chasing on my own YouTube channel with her truck, and she says, "You're not doing that with my truck."
I wouldn't do that, though. Mishi probably would be okay with it.
Why?
See, what I would want to do would be live streaming all the dumb drivers I see out on the road daily. That is definitely worth a watch, especially with yesterday or the day before. We had a light go out at like one of the main intersections in a little hub of the town, and you go out there and watch people try to figure out how a 4-way stop works. Yeah, you can just sit there with a lawn chair and get some popcorn, and it's a nice little show. I put it on the same level as watching people at a boat ramp try to back their boats into the water, and you watch all the fails, and it's the little things, guys.
Very easy, folks. If you're trying to back your boat into the water, grip the bottom of the truck steering wheel in the direction that you want the trailer to go. While holding the bottom of the steering wheel, that's where you turn it.
Make a minimum point for turning. That way you don't overcook it and get it caught.
Yes, it's something my dad taught me about trailer towing and backing. Is if you see here, Saint looks like he might be gaining on the top two. I don't know, as they come through Eau Rouge. Looks like he's actually losing a little bit of time, but I mean, there's still a heck of a lot of race to run. We've still got over a half an hour left of the greatest racing you will see and the best people you will see behind these cars in the PHG World Series.
Yeah, some of them are okay.
Yeah, this Shaggy guy, he's sketchy. I don't know, man.
I don't know that guy. He's a little too much into everything. But MBR Saint actually caught up because of the whole little thing that went down between Florinota and Talon. Florinota, I know he didn't mean to make that contact, which reset Talon earlier on, and so he waited to give Talon back to position, and even after the fact, he waited again to get back to position. So definitely the people we want in a league. Anybody would be fortunate to have in their leagues and races and even in the dailies, because they're going to be clean and they're not going to be too forceful and definitely patient. They're going to be good people. That is crazy. Yeah, Truth is making those mediums work. I think the last time I looked, he was about 14-15 seconds back from the lead, and now he's starting to close the deal. I know there was a whole thing between P1 and P2, but it's still impressive because in that same time, he's also got right up to the back of S&C.
Talking about backing up the boat ramps, Booster King says it really is that simple, Chuck. Thank you.
It really is. Yeah, I think it's anybody's race for GT1 right now. I know there's a couple of cars that have an advantage because they have a little bit better fuel. Florinota is on the low end of the fuel map there. But you gotta try things, especially when I know he had a little bit of trouble earlier on with the gamble in the rain and going an extra lap, but plenty of time to make up for it.
Florinota looking at the outside of Talon here. Look at this. We've had discussions before about the side draft, but I mean, maybe that's a thing in this kind of battle. I don't know. Ooh, Florinota takes the lead from Talon.
I don't know if, with the way the aero works in these cars, would side draft actually be more of a thing or less of a thing? Would it be with all the grooves and the wings and fenders and everything, would it be more effective than if it was just a clean slate like you would see in NASCAR, where the body is, pretty straight and contoured?
I don't know. final chicane, trying to close that gap with Talon. And once again, Talon trying to close that gap too. Florinoda. Mora ways back, trying to navigate through and get his way back into the slipstream via good laps.
If he can make these couple of passes here between Ecstasy and Felmora, I think he's got a very good shot at getting to where he needs to be, especially into the podium position. He's not bad on fuel compared to the other drivers. Actually, one of the better ones. But he's been closing every lap. Definitely putting down the best laps of any of the drivers in the top 6. Very consistent. But in the end, it's just patience. Not trying to force the pass, because it's very easy to spin these cars out. You can have full assist on and you can still mess up a corner. Or you can be like a lot of these guys and run no assist. Though he does have TC on. I didn't even have TC on. I think I got a loose screw in there or something, because normally I run TC with these kind of cars, but hey.
Looks like we got D. Rodriguez catching up to Drobo here. Looking at the interval here, about a second and a half and closing. I don't know, those racing mediums are starting to really wear down. I wonder what Drobo's tires are looking like. He's got racing cards. I don't know. I think, my personal opinion, I think he's got enough distance on D. Rodriguez to make him wear out those tires and still stretch out that lead. What do you think, Shags?
For Drobo, yeah, I think D-Rod has definitely got the advantage. The car's a little bit lighter with the lower fuel. The mediums, I think the mediums and the hards, their lap times are going to be pretty similar with the wear that D-Rod has on that car right now, on the tires. But I think he's got the advantage, being that he's behind him, getting a little bit of slip. He just doesn't have the acceleration in that car, unfortunately.
All right, we got Cornbread crossing the line for his lap and coming down into turn 1, powering out, using first gear and accelerating up into the Rouge.
He'll,
Oh my God, that cockpit looks like a fighter jet every time I see it. Just look at it. It's crazy.
very futuristic. Top Gun.
Wow.
But, up in P5, Truth has gotten by Ecstasy, and he's eyeing P4, currently held by Felmora. But I don't think he's going to hold on to it much longer. Truth has now turned that gap to P1 down to 5.5 seconds. And he's did it while making overtakes.
Yes, indeed. The Truth Serum tries to close the gap on Felmora, coming up into El Rouge.
Because I never felt very confident going through a Rouge in either car. I lift a little bit just to make the next corner a little bit better. Try to save a little face and not force too much in there. Looks like we're about to visit nighttime once again. If it feels like you've been racing for 3 days, it's probably because you have. Now, neither driver has a tire advantage, but Truth's times are a little bit better each lap than Pelmora. Just trying to time it right to get an exit and kind of put the car where Pelmora is not. That's the goal. See if we can get a better exit here. About the same. About to get into a little bit of GT3 traffic. This will definitely determine when and where he makes this next pass. If he can make the next pass. Pelmora's been up a good fight. Overspeed really isn't working for Truth right now, as Pelmora is getting a little bit of a split from a GT3 car. Well, actually, that's fine. Never mind. I thought we'd already met another GT3 car. We just keep getting up to them. The entire class is in one corner. It's actually quite impressive. 32 laps in, and everyone's under a blanket.
Okay. Let's see, we got STC navigating the right-hander into the downhill section.
Oh, Truth had a little trouble there. Got onto the not so nice stuff and lost control, but he regained it. Thankfully, did not spin it or hit the wall or get any damage. Yeah, he was drifting for 3 to 5 business days on that one.
That is a great example of car control and recovery.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's not exactly a pushover. I've raced him a number of times, and he can beat anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Fair enough. We got Saint within a second, maybe about 3/4 of a second from Talon. He's got about a 1.5 seconds advantage behind Pelmora.
I think it's time for another crank it up. It's time for one of the greatest sounds a man can ever hear.
back with you as our Crank It Up is over. Cornbread and NVR Saint we are looking at here. About a half a second between Talon and NVR Saint. And Felmora has just over a 1 second lead over NVR Saint. The Truth Serum, he is about 0.3 back from Talon, but between him and Florinota is about 3.5-ish seconds.
Florinota is pretty much out of fuel.
Yeah, 2 seconds to the lead. That's important to be aware of, is there's only 2 seconds between Felmora and Florinota, but Florinota is coming into the pits, so that is going to obviously extend things. We do know from yesterday there's going to be more rain inbound.
We have about another 3 minutes. So if y'all are going to pass anybody, now would be a good time to do it. Get that little bit of an advantage going into the pit.
All right. That's a bold move from Stan. He gets out there on a dry track.
The P9 of Cornbread kind of got bullied by literally every GT1 driver in the top 4 or 5. He's like, I'm just trying to get out of the way. And they're just coming through one by one by one. Like, not even, you blink and you miss 5 cars.
Move.
And they're like, no shoving. It's just an almost amount of shoving. Not trying to, but like a pinball machine there for a second. But yeah, what's impressive is Truth found his way back up to P4, just 3.2 seconds behind P1. And this is down from the last couple of laps, about 7 to 8 seconds. He lost a little time with a little incident of his own doing and worked his way back up. Call that damage control.
Yes, damage control indeed, as NVR Saint appears to inherit the lead here, staying on the racing hards, but he is going to have to come in soon. He is less than 1/8 a tank of fuel remaining, and we still have about 13.5 minutes left. He's going to need to take some gas.
He's going to encounter the early parts of the rain that is not too nice with the slick tires. It's gonna be close.
Alright, so we got Saint navigating the first chicane here down into the toe of the stocking.
Yeah, we're just making it whatever we want it to be. It's the American way, you know.
That's what we do is park. I gonna park.
It's like, oh, y'all call it this? Oh, no, we're gonna call it a boot or stocking or a shoe.
Yes. The Brits call them chips. We say French fries.
Yeah, y'all have your little names for the corners. We just have whatever they're shaped like. If it looks like a chicken nugget, we're gonna call it a chicken nugget.
That's the nugget corner. Down in the nugget corner there. All right, we see the windshield wipers coming on. That means the next round of rain is currently underway. Shaq, how do you think this is going to shake out for the drivers in this last approximately 12 minutes of the race?
Well, I'm watching Saint right now. He is going to have a little trouble braking, but definitely don't get out of shape going around there. And yeah, this is going to be a tough little haul here to make this last corner because the car will just slide past everything you want it to be. Good thing you got the front of the nose inside the bollard, no penalty, no problem. he kind of nullified that little bit of an advantage he had for a lap using the slick tire over the other drivers who pit a lap before using the inners or wets or whatever they jumped onto, which appears to be all inners for the GT1 cars anyways. But it's going to be close because now it's all rain still. You know, anybody can drive them in the dry and it's all perfect and pristine, but I think the real stars shine in the rain, to tell you the truth.
Fair enough. We see Saint, once again, as predicted, in pit lane, getting some Snowgo race fuel. Mora here in P2, trying to make the pass on Mr. D. Rodriguez, and makes the pass on Mora, once again in pits. Comes up to Rouge.
State is right there.
Oh no. Saint takes the lead back. That's going to be a half a second.
The other speed. And even after pit stops, the top six are still 12 seconds apart, 13 seconds apart.
Contact.
Oh no.
How this looks coming back here.
As I learned yesterday, it's very easy to misjudge your braking points in the wet.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you think you should be accelerating and the other guy is probably not accelerating, but they're turning in, they're doing this, they're just trying to get their lap, their car set up the way they want for the corner, and it's not really anybody's fault. It's just, we're not in each other's heads all the time. We don't know what we're doing. So we're just kind of trying to guess and hope we have the best outcome. The top four being 3 seconds apart once again. Everybody is good to the end. Fuel, hopefully. Tires, And Fillmore's got to start by penalty. Half a second. It's going to drop him probably to the back of this little list here. I say that, but a GT3 car was also in that list.
Coming up to the final chicane here is Detroit Serum. I think it's very interesting that we got 4 of the Group 1 cars from 5 count Ecstasy here, all bunched up. Things are going to get very interesting here.
Yeah, poor Florinota with the early mistake in the last in the rain. It's come back to haunt him, and he's marred down about 6.5 seconds back from P5, kind of out of this little group here. I'm sure he'd want to be up there, top 5 being 2 seconds apart, and there's only about 4 laps left.
Coming up to the first high-speed section here. Mr. D. Rodriguez on full wets, trying to negotiate the first chicane and close the distance between the rest of the pack. Now into the toe of the stocking. If we look back at Cornbread screaming down the straight after Eau Rouge.
I think GT3 is pretty much locked down for who's going to finish where. Because Drogo's got the tire advantage over D-Rod. D-Rod's got a 36-second gap to Cornbread in P9. Cornbread's got a 25-second gap to Stamps in P10. and it's a minute and almost a minute and a half from Stamps to K-Dub. So just kind of off and on their own little islands now. Meanwhile, GT1, there's not enough space on their island for everybody to take part in this. Town with a half-second penalty. That's a bummer. Brings Florinota right to his bumper.
Oof. Oh no. Well, Talon's got that half-second penalty, so he's going to either need to really stretch that advantage out so it negates the half-second, or these laps are ticking down, man.
Now, I would like to say this is probably the most competitive second split we've ever had, to where the top 5 just paper, rock, scissors, and one of them's going to be a winner. Like, you don't know who. There's still a couple laps left, but just take a guess. You're probably going to be wrong.
Looks like Florinata got by Talon. If Talon can respond in time and using that draft, but it is also wet on the track. It's another variable that Shaggy loves to throw at us. So.
The only detriment to Florinota being able to get up here and catch these other 3 drivers is that his tires are a little more wore than the others. And inners, you can definitely feel the difference in a couple of laps of where, to the other drivers. It's really slick, especially when you have worn tires and you hit just a little patch of, water, and it kind of sends you for a loop. Not very nice.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this race.
Truth has been so patient getting through these 2 cars that were ahead of him for a long time, and now he's eyeing P1. Now, this is probably because of the car difference, but Saint has the best tires of any driver up here. Wonder if that help him out in the end. Nice overspeed.
Saint, once again, look at how close these 3, the top 3 are here. This is going to be a very fun battle to watch as these laps wind down. Even Florinota looks like he might be closing the gap a little bit.
Yeah, everybody is still on for this.
Oh, a little wiggle from Florinota, but STC is starting to close in as well.
Florinota.
Oh no, Florinota off.
This will bring STC right to his bumper.
Let's see what happens here. Oh. I don't know how to quite explain it, but it's just unfortunate. Coming up on the final lap here, as each lap is over 2 minutes long. Spa is a huge track. It's a bigly huge. Everyone agrees. It's one of the best tracks ever. A little drag race here.
Whoa! Battle for P1. Truth. Oh, went a little too deep and got into the back of Filmora. This brought Saint right past Truth and right up to the bumper of Filmora. With Saint now having a chance to get up here.
Oh.
And Saint taking advantage. I mean, what else are you going to do? Oh, this is so close. This is good racing, though. Nobody's trying to make any contact, but it does happen. Got Florida in P4, just waiting for everybody to crash. That's what he's doing right now. He's like, y'all have your little fun. I'm just going to be here to take whatever's left.
Let's see as they navigate through the big chicane here.
Ooh,
PHG, giving him a little bumper there.
Oh. He's going to have this straight to work with. Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
Filmora just trying to hang on.
Yeah, Filmora is gapping him. Unless Filmora makes a mistake, I think.
But don't forget about Truth.
Get the win. Oh.
Just didn't have enough time. Just ran out.
Filmora takes the victory for Group 1. Congratulations, Filmora.
That was a very defensive lapse. That's what you got to do.
Drobo is our Group 3/GT3 driver.
Commanding.
Class on him. Man, look at that. 48 seconds. I know we've probably been neglecting a lot of the Group 3 drivers, but oh my goodness. Over 40 seconds, almost 50 seconds ahead.
Yeah, Drobo, I don't think he knew how to back off a little bit. He was like, oh, it's wet, I'll just go faster now. Okay. Definitely excelling in the rain. I like it.
Yeah, he just little Sunday drive.
And I stood out for Cornbread. He's kind of off on his own, lonesome here. Just, thinking about Tex-Mex, thinking about, Mexican food, thinking about food in general, Oh, wait, that's what I'm doing. No, that's what I'm doing.
Cornbread coming up into the final chicane for P2 of the GT3 class.
Don't spin it out.
And across the line.
Well, that race was nothing short of exciting and thrilling, and you really didn't know who was going to win until the very last lap. Except for GT3. It was in a bag.
Yeah, right. Shags, you want to take us through the results?
Of course. Give me just a second. All right, for GT1, Filmora coming home in P1. Just 4/10 over Saint in P2. The True Serum racking up the podium. A hard-fought podium, if I may say. He was behind a while there, but always seemed to come back. Florida dropping to P4. Talon, unfortunately, had some contact early on, a couple little incidents, and was marred back in P5. for P6 and GT1, S to C. And for GT3, Drobo with a commanding lead. I can't even see it on my end how far he was, but I think it was 50 seconds.
Yeah, it was
Cornbread.
between 40 and 50 seconds. He was on point.
Right. Cornbread racking up P8, P2 overall for GT3. For P3 and on the podium for GT3, PHG Rodriguez. Trying to think what I was doing. Followed behind by PHG's Stamps and PHG K-Dub, rounding out the last of the GT3 cars. And in P12, P7, I guess it was P7 for GT1, Fernando with a unfortunate disconnect. He's had weather in his area, and hopefully he's home and safe away from the storms.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the driver of the race. As much as I want to give the my nomination for driver of the race to some people from the GT1 class, I'm going to have to go with Drobo for my nomination because he obviously did the practice and locked down his strategy. And I think it was 40 seconds, I think we said, that he got the win by. That's significant.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's significant. So mine is going to go to Drobo. What about you, Shags?
I'm going to have to go with Florinoda. He had an early mistake. I believe it was Florinoda, staying out a lap or so too long. It hurt a lot of his chances, but I mean, he probably had this in the bag if not for that. Much as similar to Mr. Casual yesterday, doing the same thing, staying out too long, on the slicks and the rain come in and kind of botched that a little bit. But he rallied back, and it might not show it because on paper it's only 1.7 seconds behind P1, but just to get back up that close is still just a show of how resilient and determined he was to get back to the front. And he did make it back to the front a couple times. It's just that's how close everybody was in the top 4, top 5 the last 20 laps, it seems. It was anybody's race, and anybody on that list can be driver of the day, no question, because they all have their own right to that.
All right. Well, we do thank you all for joining us for this round of the PHG World Series. We're still getting some more driver of the race votes in. That's what I'm looking at down here on my phone right now, down here in the chat. Once again, take a look at that and make your vote. Shags, your final thoughts on the event that we commentated on today?
Yeah, it was very exciting because I was just enthralled by the battle for honestly P5 to P1 and GT1 and at times P6 was in the fight. It was pretty spread out for GT3, so there wasn't a lot of back and forth, battles for positions. And we also had a shorter lobby for GT3, a couple of absent drivers, but for the ones that showed up, very appreciated.
Yeah.
But
and we understand.
GT1
Real life
was,
happens.
yeah.
We understand.
Oh, so. Yeah. But GT1 was just everybody that remained in the race, and unfortunately Fernando had to back out or had problems and dealing with weather, so hopefully he's okay and everything. Everybody else that stayed in the race for GT1, yeah, I didn't know who was going to win. You could have told me Truth was going to win with 2 laps to go, and I would have believed you, or 10 laps to go, or 20 laps to go, and yeah, they nobody backed down, and there was some pushing and shoving. It wasn't all intentional. Maybe a little bit was. Who knows? But that's rubbing is racing. Always
Yeah.
exciting, and that was a very exciting second split. You wouldn't know it was second split, on paper, but just watching it, it felt like all the marbles were to be won in this one.
Indeed. Well, looks like our split 2 driver of the race. I think the poll has been completed. And Drobo, congratulations, Drobo. You are our driver of the race. Followed
Yeah, well
closely
deserved.
by the Truth Serum and Florinota. Actually, the Truth Serum and Florinota had equal amounts of votes. Interesting. My final thoughts about this race. Once again, Spa is a very fun, very high-speed track. It's the biggest track that I personally am good at right now. Notice I use the term right now. Bigger tracks require more practice and progress, but it's definitely been a very fun weekend hanging out with my good friends, my fellow broadcasters and commentators, just hanging out and talking about cars and racing. Shags, what do you think about the races this weekend?
Well, I'm actually very happy that y'all showed up. You know what I'm about. So when there's a track that can have wet weather, you know what you're in for. And the fact that y'all showed up, still did it, didn't complain too much. So I'm sure there's still some complaints there. I could have more rain. You never know if you want more rain. But yeah, I'm always happy.
The thing we want is more rain, Shags.
Yeah, I don't hear, oh, I hate it. I'm like, oh, you want more rain? Okay. Unfortunately, there's no rain at Daytona, but give it time. I'll figure out a way. Yeah, I was very happy with the turnout, and actually really looking forward to next week too, because while this is Spa, everybody loves Spa. This has got wet weather. There's also the real life event, 24 hours of Spa going on right now. We got next week Daytona, 4th of July weekend, American muscle cars, Group C cars, loud, out there, in your face. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good way to end this season.
All right. Well, once again, go ahead, and if you liked this broadcast, like and subscribe for PHG Papa down here doing the broadcast for us. He does a lot of work for all of this. I tend to do more story-heavy games between my sim racing, escapades or whatnot. But we appreciate y'all watching, and we will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Once again, make sure and like and subscribe. If you like, we'll see you all next time. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Later, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Well, PHG family, you stayed to the last lap. Hands up, screens up. One more time for the ride. Turn tonight. You held the line with me through red flags and green light.
Pit lane story, full gas, hearts. We chase that finish sound.
Now the last spring fades away,
but we ain't slowing down.
Hear that engine call.
One more roll of thunder.
Keep that fire in your chest.
We're going back under.
once more.
You saw the slide, you saw the save.
You saw the last lap grin.
Every wheel, the wheel, every close call.
We felt you leaning in.
The checkered flag don't mean goodbye, just means the night went wild.
Save that spot for the next green. We'll meet you in a while.
When the lights go low and the final screen is glowing,
All that talk, all that heat.
still keeps the whole room flowing.
PHG World Series Season 4.
We were born for more. Until next time, until next time.
We hit the floor, we hit the floor.
PHG World Series Season 4. Keep that engine roar. Until next time, until next time.
We run it back once more. To every driver who clipped the apex, to every viewer who called the move before it happened, to every late night legend who stayed until the end, you made this more than a race.
You made it a room.